Hello, everyone, and welcome to Happy Hour. I'm Rebecca Diamond, along with Eric Bowling and Cody Willard. Boy, it's packed in the bar today, huh?
Friday.
Wow. As the president's attention turns from health care, Rand Paul says he's ready to repeal whatever health care the Dems try to cook up. He's fired up, and he's joining us here for Happy Hour, and it's the...
Hey, and welcome back. Our government already spends about $1 trillion per year on health care, and that's before any of the Democrats' proposed reforms would kick in. Well, our next guest is running as a Republican in the Kentucky Senate race, and he has some strong feelings on health care. He has signed a pledge at repealit.org to roll back any health care takeover. Please welcome Dr. Rand Paul back to Happy Hour. He joins us by phone from Bowling Green, Kentucky. Welcome back, Dr. Paul. Can you hear me?
Yes, good to be with you, Cody.
All right, so, first of all, let's start off with this. You're out there and you're trying to stop any reforms. I thought we sort of wanted reforms because there's already too much government in health care.
Well, I have trouble having any voters down here in Kentucky believing how an $874 billion bill really isn't going to add anything to the deficit. We don't understand the math they're using up in Washington that an $800 billion bill really is not going to cost anything.
Dr. Paul, do you think that this bill is going to be resurrected in Congress? I mean, what happened in Massachusetts this week puts all that in doubt. I mean, how much do we have to really worry about that health care reform bill that was passed in the House and the Senate?
I'd say the only chance they have of passing it as is if the House immediately votes on what the Senate voted on and they don't change any wording. They could vote on it and pass it tomorrow, but they're going to get a lot of egg on their face, and it will really drive what's already an enormous momentum for Republicans in 2010.
Absolutely.
So the Democrats could do it, but if they force a vote in the House and they accept what the Senate has, they'll get it through, but at the expense of having something probably bigger than what happened in 1994 when the Republicans took over.
Dr. Paul, what about, you won that battle. Health care is not good. It's clear there's going to be no health care reform bill. Why not move set your sights on cap and trade now? Or, terrorism. I mean, there's so many things that you could aim a very, very potent cannon at with the Obama administration. How about moving the fight elsewhere?
Well, I think it may. Cap and trade's another big loser for them, though. We had 2 Democrats in Kentucky vote for cap and trade, and they both are going to be really struggling at the polls because of those votes. 90% of our electricity in Kentucky comes from coal, and while I'm all in favor of other forms, such as nuclear, we're going to burn coal for another generation or two, and it's silly of the federal government to tell us we can't.
So, Dr. Paul, let's advance that even a little further. Cap and trade aside, what about, your father obviously takes on the Federal Reserve all the time. What about, when are we going to actually get you out there talking about we got to end 0% interest rates and every single welfare bank program that they've created, Republicans and Democrats alike?
We do. We talk a lot about the debt, but I also tell people that you can't have a large national debt without a federal bank. I also tell people that when you have interest rates of 0, you're ignoring the best signal that the marketplace has. When an economy becomes overheated, interest rates will rise. I tell people that interest rates are like insulin in the body. You have a big meal and your blood sugar rises, your insulin rises, and you get homeostasis, which is a maintaining of balance. The economy has that, but if the Federal Reserve keeps the interest rates at 0, the economy doesn't get a signal that it's overheated, and therefore you get a boom that keeps rising and rising, which ultimately leads to a correction, and that's what we're suffering now.
Dr. Paul, we have the president there in Ohio. Now he's resurrecting the jobs issue. I mean, they obviously know health care reform's not resonating with voters out there. So finally, he's addressing jobs. We'll see how long this continues. What are the people in Kentucky saying about jobs, and what can you do? What do you think is the way to get people back to work?
Well, if you see the president, ask him to come to Kentucky, because I think he'll help my campaign by coming down here. Obama is incredibly unpopular in Kentucky, and the Democrats, if they want to have a chance, will have to run away from him. But I would say the first thing you have to say about jobs is that government does not create jobs, only entrepreneurs do. Government can only take money from one group of people and give it to another, but they create no useful jobs, and we should not look to government. We should look to trying to leave money in the pockets of entrepreneurs, get rid of regulations, get the EPA out of our coal business down here, get OSHA out of our small businesses. We need to restrain government to let small businesses and businessmen and women create jobs.
And Dr. Paul, you touch on a good point of this green initiative to create green jobs. Yeah, it costs a lot of money. We know that, but let's not forget, if you create a green job, you take away a coal job, a fossil fuel job somewhere else. Isn't that right?
Well, the thing about government creating jobs is I heard a good analogy of the other day. It's sort of like trying to fill up your swimming pool by taking water out of the deep end and putting it in the shallow end.
Yeah.
You're not really creating new jobs. You're just taking money from people and giving it to other people. But then the people who get government jobs are people who are preferred special interests. So right now, Obama loves the green jobs, but they're big contributors and they're special interests, and so he sends jobs there. But if you add up the numbers, the stimulus numbers, it's $500,000 per job if you don't all count these crazy jobs saved.
Dr. Paul, $413,693 per job. We got to leave it there, though, sir.
But we'll take $500,000
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, on tap, stick around for the TikTok of Cody's shocking shot clock. And I'm grilling up some sassy street meat. Wait till you hear what Arlen Specter said to Michelle Bachmann. You won't believe it. In Rebecca's Diamond District, the contest is on to find America's next pitch man. All that and more when Happy Hour returns.
ShamWow! Where's the ShamWow